Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to TeamODZ Live. It's Friday.
Well, I'm just getting ready.
Yeah, I didn't create a meetup today because I didn't know what either of us were going to be like.
Yeah.
And I've got 1.25 levels to catch up on as well.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I couldn't believe how many I got out of that ride yesterday. I mean, I can, but I don't know. For some reason, I didn't think it'd be that much.
I would have thought it a bit more. You pretty much going to get a level out of just the bonus XP for finishing PRL4. Hey there, Ben. Good morning. Thank you for the ride on.
Man, yeah, last night I was gonna cook dinner last night, and then on the way, since I stayed home, but then took a shower. Once Heidi was on her way home, I was like, you know what? Do you want to just stop and pick up like a frozen pizza or something? Because I don't think I'm gonna really want to cook tonight. And I sat down to watch some TV and just did a series of awake, asleep, awake, asleep. Just pretty much spent the evening passing out over and over again.
Oh, so I cooked my lamb steak for lunch yesterday. Yolanda said, what do you want to eat with it? Got some rice in the fridge. Got some vegetables as well. Oh, sounds good. Got me in a frying pan, bit of soy sauce. I'll have some fried vegetable rice. Vegetable fried rice. There you go. I'll get it all the right way around. And that was really nice.
Ooh, this one's kind of cool.
Hey there, Owen. Ben got a PB. He got a peanut butter. We got a personal best or a team best yesterday as well. Ben on the TCT. You're pretty good. Cut in a minute off. Thank you for the ride on there, Owen. Cutting a minute off the time is no. I didn't look to see where we finished after everybody else had raced yesterday on. Did we hold on to our third place? .58 miles per hour. I'm thinking that's a miles per minute or kilometers per minute.
Ow.
Oh,
That's the other part I didn't forgot about.
That's the end here.
The sitting down part. Would you believe it? Yesterday, after I took a shower, did all that stuff, I went and sat down on my couch and I went, ah! Like since when is sitting down on the couch making me go, ow!
Fourth. Yeah, what the fourth. Nice.
Nice. I wish I could have been a little more present for that whole thing. That wasn't my plan. But by the time that you guys showed up, I was in the hurt zone. It was not a happy time. Oh, come on.
1.09 seconds. Would have if we hadn't dangled with that other team for as long as we did. We probably have beaten ATP then. Whatever. Still had a good time. Still beat our record. Our personal best. I don't know. I think, well, I think I do actually. They were on their first lap. And teams tend to go out a lot harder than what they can sustain for the rest of it. We don't. We pace ourselves really well throughout the race. So I think they were overstretching themselves until they got through the volcano, and then we picked them off easy. Yeah.
So was this other team, was that the Numpty team I kept hearing about?
Yeah.
Team Numpty. Yeah, I was trying to focus on the race. Every so often I'd be able to kind of focus on it, but then I just kept hearing stuff and it stuck out of my head. Oh, Numpty team.
That's fair shifting, Ben.
Nice. Yeah, I think unless if something strikes me all of a sudden while we're doing the ebb, I think I'll just be riding the ebb to ride the ebb. Not to sprint the ebb. Oh, and it's rolling highlands. Oof.
Yeah, I chose this one for you.
I don't know if I want to do an uphill sprint. I don't even know if I would have a sprint in me, really. Hey, my legs don't feel too bad.
What did we say, Owen?
Oh, yeah. You never know what could happen, really, Owen. Sometimes right before the sprint, I just get this feeling like, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. But so far, but now I'm thinking about the fact that I've already done my distance goal for the week and then some. And I still have at least 50 miles to ride today, and then another 100K on Sunday. So did your pulled muscle sort itself out?
But no. That was the other reason I didn't create a meetup. Yeah, I'm on non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, prescription ones, for my elbow at the moment. So I was really surprised that I even felt that after after the race.
Finishing that yesterday. That's just the place you don't want to be at. That's the place that I think back to and I'm like, that's always the place where in a ride where I'm like, I don't want to go back there ever again. I know I will. And it's a part of it. And it's great to push through that, but I was thinking of when you guys left. I think I still had like 15 miles left to finish. But I don't even remember what happened. It seemed like it went by really fast. And then I avoided hills after that because there was that one hill. I went up Box Hill and then I was like, well, I'm just going to take this other way all the way out around. Forgetting that that's Keith Hill. An even bigger hill than Box Hill. But I did manage, like, I think it was like 12,000 feet or something. I don't know if I'm going to want to do 180. I'm doing it.
What?
Huh? I'm doing like this active recovery, but it's like intervals. 1 minute at 180, 1 minute at 140. And it just all of a sudden in the warm up bumped up to 150. And I felt my legs creep to life. And it didn't feel terrific. It'll be fun.
Not many people haven't climbed for it today.
Yeah, it was 11,955 feet of elevation. I don't know why I kept doing the climbs. I just really felt that it would be proper to continue on the same course until I was done. And for most of the ride, I was really enjoying the uphill. So it was a good place to actually just maintain pace. Once I started feeling miserable, though, it was just a way to make it last longer. Lots of comments, though, on the post. There was some of my favorites were, I'll just do the general. This is just another level of crazy. And then there's another a bit bonkers. Then there was asking, did I need punishment for something?
Yeah, you needed punishment for getting level and a quarter ahead of me on XP. Although it's almost a level now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little over a level. So I didn't get that far ahead. I did have a bit to catch up.
Yeah, that's true. About half a level.
But I would say through all of that,
So,
I made it
that makes
just shy of 2 levels.
Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't considered that.
I worked longer than I would on a normal work day. Like actual work. And I was paid almost 2 levels for it.
At least it looks cold.
Oh, you're gonna make him unclench himself.
Maybe we should call the brewery and make them gamify your everyday life so you get some levels for working.
Yeah, you get XP for cleaning out the mash. And
Turns out you don't have to pay him in money anymore.
yeah, Rick will work for drops and XP.
One thing that worked really well in, I think it was 2nd grade, my mom and the teacher, they came up with a plan that if I didn't spend all my time talking to all my classmates and paid attention to my work each day, I would get a sticker on the day. And if I got 5 stickers, I could go buy a toy at the department store.
How many
Friday.
toys did you get?
I actually did pretty good, yeah. I was like, oh, well, this changes everything. I guess I'll have to say goodbye to my friends. I'm going to be a school kid now. And I got quite a bit of G.I. Joes. I'm guessing G.I. Joes were just an American thing, huh?
Yeah. We had Action Man in the UK, didn't we, Owen?
Yeah,
Action
I was
Man!
just gonna say that.
I had an Action
So
Man.
that was way before Rick's time.
Yeah. I had an Action Man. I didn't have an Eagle Eye one.
You were
I had a
playing with
tank as
dolls.
well. Yes, boys dolls.
One of my previous jobs, I was working. I was working in a convenience store, and I wasn't really a big fan of the assistant manager. We butted heads a lot, but there was one day that we were getting all of the deliveries in all at once, and I was working on something else that didn't involve those because I was placing myself properly, and the assistant manager was working on all those deliveries. At one point he came out of the cooler and there was a guy with a hand cart coming into the cooler, and he had to get out of their way. And then right after that, he tried to go back in, and then someone was coming out with another hand cart, and he seemed very frustrated. And he came to me and he's just like, oh, this is crazy. I can't handle it. Too many deliveries at once. And I was like, oh, what's wrong? Is it reminding you of your childhood? And he was like, huh? And I was like, just surrounded by dollies. He didn't think it was funny. He actually gave me the silent treatment all day long after that.
Right, I've got a coffee stop in 25 seconds. I misjudged this. The guy just passed me. I need to stay with him now. There we go. We did.
Yesterday, I drank 2 gallons of water. And almost all of that was on the bike. I did drink one 32-ounce water bottle afterwards, but
I was checking Strava after dinner here, so thinking that you would be done, but I couldn't find you.
yeah, I ended up it ended up taking a while. There was a lot of climbing involved. I just kept doing Box Hill every time. And then the one time, which was near the end, that I was like, all right, no more climbing, I'm done. I took a left at the bottom of Box Hill and didn't realize that was taking me onto Keith Hill.
Yeah, you still have to climb.
Which then at that time, Bob did said the reasonable thing, which was, well, why don't you just hit U-turn? And I was like, I'm committed now. I guess this is I'm doing another hill. Nothing matters at this point anyway. The sun was still up, so I was like, oh, as long as there's sun, I'm still going.
Put my meat and my coffee stop now, just so I can get something to pee. I didn't quit it in time. Rats, I tried. Oh well. Previous one was 250 XP, so.
But yeah, by the time I got done with it, because of doing all those climbs and having the downhill to hop off the bike real quick, it only showed the difference between my exercise time and total ride time was only just about 20 minutes.
Yeah, crazy.
But I mean, being able to do that the downhill and get off the bike really helped out a lot. And I only used Coffee Stop, I think 2 times towards the end of my ride, where I just didn't care anymore. For most of the ride, it was just short enough. They're short enough laps, and they're mixed up enough that I felt like everything was moving pretty quickly. It's really not that bad of a route. I don't mind it. It's a lot better than, because of that downhill part, it's a lot better than doing, I found it easier than doing the volcano circuit. I think that may have to have different to do, or well, something to do with my mood that day. Oh wow, I didn't realize this workout was that long. I thought this was an hour.
Uh-oh.
This is like a 2-hour workout. That's not gonna work. How did that happen? Active recovery and it's a 2-hour workout? I never did get the call from the fire department that, hey, everybody that we just put through failed. We need you to come down quick. Be that epic. Well, I just rode 150 miles, but here I go.
On my bike.
Sometimes that's when I work my best. Be like, oh, I've already done a challenge and now you're going to challenge me to this? Okay, let's do this. Probably not though. My brain probably would have been fried. The testing would have got me. Trying to do the math and all the other stuff. My personality test would have been completely skewed because of wherever my head's at after doing that.
I'm kind of done with winter now, and it's not. I mean, February is still to come. That's the coldest month here.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was watching the news, it was showing -2 degrees here. It's still warmer here than in your garage, though.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because it doesn't go below like, around 40 Fahrenheit is minimum.
Yeah.
So that's good. Just tonight was really cold outside.
I did get down to 59 in here when I woke up, and then the heat kicked on. The furnace kicked on. That's when I know it's really cold out and the heat pumps aren't doing much of anything but maintaining a very cold temperature.
The only thing my heating system is doing is draining my bank account.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to look at the propane tank's gauge today, just to make sure. I never like it when the heat has to kick in. Like there's something about when it gets turned on because of comfort for a shower or something that feels different than when it kicks in because the temperature dropped below 60. Then it always has me questioning too, like, oh great, so now just running a heat pump just for the sake of running a heat pump, I guess. But it does still, if I were to shut off the heat pump, the furnace would kick on a lot more. So it does still help in that way. And really, propane isn't that expensive to use this year. It's like half the price of heating oil, all the other things that are available. But it's just a big chunk of money to pay every time they fill it. Yeah, this weekend's supposed to be colder than this. But then next week, towards the end of the week, I guess it's going it's going to get into the 40s.
We're getting another storm on Monday, so they're saying into the 50s, mid 50s. So, but a lot of wind. Well, at least we get rid of the snow cover, so maybe we can get outside cycling again. That would be nice.
Yeah. Muddy outside cycling.
Yeah, but now it's super slippery. So it would be nice to burn that off, and then they can come back with the cold weather. But now it's just impossible to cycle out.
Yeah. Saw a video the other day of someone wearing a GoPro, and they were riding on what looked like a downhill, and the roads are just covered in snow. You could tell it was probably a gravel bike. So it had the drops and everything, but at first he's riding with no hands.
What could possibly
Just
go
like,
wrong?
What is happening here? And just moving at a real good pace, like as if he's on a road. And yeah, I was like, those must be some studded snows or something there.
Studded tires don't help when there's snow on the ground. On ice, absolutely.
Ice, huh?
I mean, if it's ice underneath, they help, of course, but otherwise, I mean, snow is not so bad to steer in, but it's a hell of a job getting forward, so it takes a lot of power.
I just couldn't imagine going on any sort of a down or a straightaway, going at
No,
on a 20-pound bike or something, even if it's 20 pounds, and not holding on to the handlebars. Made me feel like there were some comments about it being in front of a screen or something, but I don't know, it looked pretty real, but it's hard to
the
tell.
thing is in gravel, when you go down, is when you try to control the bike, you get caught on an edge or something. So in itself, letting go of the steer, but you have to be ready to fall, of course, if it takes you the wrong direction.
I mean, I don't even want to let go of the steering wheel when I'm driving in snow in my truck, just from all of the different, tire grooves and all that stuff. You never know when it's just gonna redirect your front wheel out. What time are you leaving at? Oh, okay.
The ride on, Ian? Hills as well there, hills. Thank you.
Ooh, tomorrow I will sit on absolutely no saddles. I think I do have to go sit on bleachers though. So yeah, depending on what they have at the Augusta Civic Center, I hope it's seats. The saddle sores are real with this one. as we heard yesterday at the end of the team time trial, Grace now has more duties on her cheer team for tomorrow's competition. But she was thinking she's coming down with something. All right, I'll be right back.
All right.
I'll bring Grace down the road.
Okay. Never get to be a fireman if you can't get bring and take the right way around. You know, I was trying to think how my ETA is like 13 minutes on this rather than 20. I just selected the easiest descent. That'll do it. Flying past people. With the XP, boys. So according to Swift Insider, there's a 60% chance of getting a feather. No, a 60% chance of getting 10 XP, a 20% chance of getting a feather, and a 20% chance of getting 250 XP each time I go through an arch. People were saying yesterday that there's people on Swift riders talking about already being close to level 100. Basically all we've been doing is climb portals. Oh, and if I wasn't fair there, what's the next peak? Got a lick to catch. Oh my god. Give me the two. Don't very quickly here, am I?
Not that cold out.
This morning, the neighbor started with the snow shovel, so manually. So I thought, oh shit, no, I'm probably also have to clear, but Luckily, he gave up after making a foot pass to the mailbox, just wide enough for him to put his shoe in.
Yeah, it said on the news that it was -2 degrees, and then I went out there and the car said 4 degrees. So either it's warmed up a little bit or it's not that cold.
Oh, the car's wrong.
I had Grace go and start the car ahead of time, and I went out and I was like, wow, this isn't defrosted at all. It's been going for 15 minutes. The air's running and the radio's on, and then I went to push on the brake, and there was no give to it at all. And I was like, I pushed the button and it turned on, and I was like, Grace, you got to turn it on. He was like, I thought I did. Like, I don't know, something went wrong. You either pushed the button without hitting the brake or something happened, but this has just been blowing cold air on itself for a while. So I drove to her friend's house with looking through what little hole I could make in the frost with the windshield washer fluid.
In Denmark, they'll strip you of your driver's license if they see that.
Yeah,
Nobody
told my
cares at this
kids.
time of day.
I told my kids they clear off all.
Walk-out car.
I told my kids they clear off all of the snow off the car, not just the windows.
Yeah, it's probably not the best teaching device or way to teach Grace about what to do with her car, but serious times require serious measures. Like when you're in the middle of a workout and you just want to get back to it. And you got to drive 3 blocks down the street. Yeah, here it's actually a lot to, well, at least with snow especially, but there's also one for, obstructed view.
Yeah.
But it was either within the last couple of years they made a law that you have to clear all of your car off because of how many chunks of ice and stuff were going through people's windshields.
Yep. Well, I had all the feathers on the last time, so I must have lots of XP on this one.
I was thinking on the way back, maybe one way around sitting in bleachers for a whole cheer competition is I can wear some cycling shorts underneath my pants.
Played an entire round of golf wearing cycling shorts under my trousers.
Why'd you do that?
For the cycle to the golf club. I had a friend take my clubs. and I cycle for the golf course.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I was trying to think of the benefit of wearing cycling shorts while golfing, but
Nice and comfy in the golf cart.
yeah. I mean, really, I should anytime I have to go sit. Like, I mean, the all-star cheering stuff, there's a lot of just hanging out waiting. But at least in those, you're in like a, you know, convention center or arena in a large metropolitan area. So usually there's a lot of stuff, a lot of places to sit, all that stuff. But you're not just confined to a seat watching the whole time. Whereas these high school ones, it's like you have to just sit there the whole time.
That's why every sports club in the Netherlands have a liquor license, so the dads can get hammered while the kids are playing football.
That's the thing, because yeah, if any dad does, then they just stand out because they were just walking around with a coffee cup and a red nose. And I have seen a couple. There was one guy last year that was notorious for it. He was the drunk guy, we called him. We'd always try to spot him from the stands because he would never be sitting. He'd always be just walking around. One moment he'd be on this side of the gymnasium and then the other. Always looking very smiley.
That's a trick I learned when I worked for it wasn't the post office, it was the post bank in Denmark. So there was it was actually not an alcohol ban, but there was an alcohol ban in the working area. But some guys, they found out that if they put stout on a thermos, it could pass for coffee.
Yeah, the only one I've found where the parents will, semi-openly talk about smuggling in their own drinks are the football games, because those things get pretty cold. But the one that was cool though was the Florida competition for All-Star Cheer ends up being the best one because you're in the ESPN Worldwide of Sports complex, and in between every venue, because there's, I think like 5 different stages going on at different times. And in between each one, there's at least one beer vendor. And you can buy these little collectible cups and just keep those filled with beer. You just can't bring them into the actual competition area. But the cheering seems significantly louder for all of those events. I think it's a good way to really liven up the crowd. And then especially when you're not allowed to bring it in. But then you have, the people who just picked one up and they may not realize or something, or they have 20 minutes left or whatever, and then they
have to drink it the Australian way.
See groups of people just chugging big cups of beer. All right, let's go in. Yeah, it was funny. Anytime that they couldn't find my dad and I, they just knew to check out a couple of the beer lines. We would be somewhere in there, usually. I'll tell you though, there's nothing like waiting in a beer line in 90-degree weather in the sun to just really make you enjoy that beer when you finally get it.
Yes. Yeah, I think here they're dependent on sport and the music festivals because people don't drink so much beer at home anymore. They don't drink a beer with their dinner, for instance, what they used to do. So you need to get events like that to sell your beer.
Good to know that I can ride a long distance one day and then get back on my bike the next day and still enjoy it.
Yeah.
Next test is to find out how many days in a row would I have to do it before I wouldn't enjoy it anymore.
Sometimes you wear out, I guess, depending on your CTO. Funnily enough, the first you run out of is appetite, so you don't correctly wear off, you don't eat enough, and then it's game over.
Yeah. Yeah, that is one of the toughest things with long rides is remembering to eat, especially in the beginning when everything's going by a lot faster. Then you realize, oh wow, I should probably eat.
Yeah, but it's even after. I mean, you're probably not, the glycogen levels are not up to what they were yesterday morning. So it's okay for 1, 2, 3 days, but then it starts to be a problem.
And that just highlights even more what it takes to be a pro tour rider.
Yes. So they have people that stop feed them if they have no appetite.
I don't want to eat. What is it? If you don't eat your meat, you get no pudding.
Yeah. Be a good reason not to eat my meat if it's pretty. No, but it's normally the breakfast that's the problem. So in the evening they will eat okay. They want to eat something different that they are served, but that's natural. But some of them start to skip breakfast, and that's dangerous as a pro runner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine that's really important. Be eating the breakfast before a big day.
Yeah, basically you have to eat all the time. But so this is not true for normal level. It can't hurt you fasting a little bit. But for pro rider, you have to take every opportunity to get stored carbohydrates.
Yeah, 'cause yesterday after I got done with my 150-mile ride, I saw that Sepp Kuss had done a 145-mile training ride, and I was like, oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah, but he's probably down in sunny Calpe, so
Oh yeah,
I still
Yeah.
give you more credit. But it's a good impulse for your body, because the next 3-4 weeks you're gonna have so much energy stored, and you don't need to worry about that, because your body is reacting to what you did.
yeah. I know that like when I get to work today, I'm gonna be looking at what I need to do and be like, okay. Probably gonna take me a moment to get ready. Probably end up leaning against something, looking at my phone for longer than I want to. But I should. Probably bring a chair into the whole process and just sit down on that every time I can. But once I get into the flow, then I get it done pretty good. But it's the getting started when I'm tired.
Go into
Typically,
the ebb.
whenever. Ah, yes. It's almost ebb time, that's right. I was thinking we were doing the jungle today, and I wasn't exactly looking forward to that. Just grinding it on gravel, but it's a little better.
Oh.
Yeah, when I woke up this morning, I was, and last night, I could feel it. When I woke up from a couple of my naps, my neck was just that typical neck pain feeling. And this morning when I iced my shoulder, when I was done, I threw it on my neck. That did wonders. I've now found a new trick. I just need to ice my neck after long rides.
Yeah, just kill the symptoms, you'll be fine.
Isn't that what life is after 40?
Yes, absolutely correct. what the Dutch politicians are doing. So everybody's been complaining that the rent went up during Corona and inflation. So what do? They make a law regulating the rents. What happens? 25% of the rent estates go off the market because it's not lucrative anymore. So now complaining, the rents are too high and you can't get a rent for it.
Have a good day. Something differently happened in Portland, the biggest city in Maine. They've been going through a boom for the last maybe decade or so. Lots of restaurants have opened up there, and breweries, and just lots of things that are drawing people in, and a lot of other businesses followed as well. So there's a huge influx of people moving into Portland. And so gradually property rates were going up. But then also with the change in the market, property went up even more on top of what it already was. And so landlords started raising their rent gradually. And so now the people who have always lived in Portland are starting to have trouble affording living in Portland. And now it's mainly becoming all people that have moved from other places.
Yeah.
And a huge gentrification, I guess you could say, is happening. But the city keeps putting in like rent restrictions and stuff like that to try to fix the problem, which is kind of unfair to the landlords in that way, because it's not like their costs are going down.
No, it is also counterproductive. I don't know the situation in the US, but the solution here is to build more houses. But because of all kind of environmental restrictions and bureaucracy, that is not going fast enough.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, basically it's a good situation if houses are expensive. That means it's more lucrative to build a house. So the market should fix it on the long term, but that's provided there are no strange barriers.
Yeah, I know, like right now they have in the downtown area of Portland, they have 3 high-rise residential buildings going in, and which are now going to become, one of them is going to be the tallest building in Maine, I guess. But
Morning, boys.
Morning, Ian.
It sounds a lot like Copenhagen, because especially that with the restaurants. But
yeah,
similar thing happened there. Then they built a lot of high rises, and it took 5 years. And by the time they were done, housing marking had normalized. But the thing is, the houses are there, so that's good for the housing shortage. So you have that kind of situation that the school teachers are leaving Copenhagen because they can't afford to live there. And that's a bit stupid, of course.
yeah. And then that's when everything just starts growing out. People start having to make commutes. And then the metropolitan area spreads.
Yeah, but in Copenhagen it's already very spread, so people have to commute like 60, 70 miles, and since there's a general shortage of teachers, they just take a job locally where they end up. And then all the high educated people in the fancy flats in Copenhagen don't know where to send their kids. I lived half my life in Copenhagen, and it's not attractive at all to live there, so I don't know what it's all about.
Yeah. Would you imagine it's one of those cities that people think they want to live there until they live there, and then they're like, why do I live here?
No, I mean, it's me that is a little bit. I would actually rather just live in a countryside village.
Yeah.
But so I live outside now, but it's still a very crowded area here. But I'm not a city person, so I won't pay extra for city commodities. And Copenhagen got a lot nicer since I lived there, so that's another thing that I don't count in, of course. I mean, alone me moving away probably did. So.
Yeah, it is the good part. I mean, like Portland now it's a great city to go visit. Just not the best to live in unless you have a really good job.
Copenhagen is also nice in the 6 warmest months. It's quite nice there, as it seems. But it's like Amsterdam, it's very sought for, and I just think it's so inconvenient. The city is so old that nothing is adapted to modern life.
But it looks cool.
Yes, I mean, social media selfies are nice, but well, there are so many foreigners living there, so it would be the place for me to go live, of course.
And I like Copenhagen when we visited there, but I agree it's a bit crowded.
Yeah, you were there in the summer. That's
Yeah,
that's the nicest time of year.
yeah, we were there in June. I don't know if I would have called it summer though, as I went there from, Dominican Republic and DC, and it was about 15 degrees colder.
Okay. Yeah, but for Danish,
It was Danish summer.
yes.
I have a thing where like I could imagine myself living in Boston if I could afford it, but New York City, never. New York City's too much. And it just looks gross. It's just so busy that and crowded, it just looks disgusting. Something about Boston that it just, even its disorganization still kind of looks organized. The streets are just a mess, that's all. It looks like they built the street on a bunch of goat paths.
It was constructed by the Dutch, so probably no better than Amsterdam.
Yeah, just lots of like curved streets and diagonals and it's like, what? It's very easy to get turned around there. Wow. I have 10 friends on this ride right now. That's a whole lot of
You
fun.
don't have 10 friends.
We need to cut it down. We need to sever some of them. I only have
There we go.
9.
We haven't even left the pen, and beans have already been mentioned.
Yeah, I had a can of beans at about what was it? 100 and, well, yeah, it was at exactly 108 miles yesterday.
Mid-ride. Oh my God.
Yeah, and it was good for a little while. My guts hurt when I was all done. I spent the night. Heidi actually requested that I sleep downstairs at one point, and I said, "Oh no, it's fine. When I fall asleep, it'll stop." I don't know if it did or not, but
No, you just don't notice it. Just you're completely relaxed, so it's more just a flow of air.
yes, it's more steady. It's not just one big burst. It's like boiling a frog gradually, you know? It's just, she was living amongst it without realizing it eventually. Oh, look at that, right off the front, just like that.
You're not sweeping today, so you can just stay with us.
Oh yeah, that was great the other day. Every time I'd bring someone back from sweeping, I'd go flying through the crowd, and all of a sudden I'd hear you guys going off. Oh, look at that, sweepers at the front of the group again.
Well, it's Scotland, so that feather has to be useful somewhere, I guess.
Ooh, someone has like a pink and orange Tron bike. Is that a thing you can do now?
That would go great with your scroll hat.
Yeah, Andy sent me a whole swivel story the other day of the gradual transformation from cyclist to squirrel cyclist. I titled it A Swivel Story. Oh. Well, see, now if I sprint, then it just looks bad.
No, it
I
doesn't.
don't think I'll be sprinting. I don't think I'll be sprinting with him today, but I might try to push and see what I can do today.
Are we finally down from this downhill?
I see how it is, Andy. That's cool.
What's that?
I got my camera up and everything, and I'm not
Oh.
on your stream.
Sorry. Yeah.
You got an empty seat from Rick.
Well, let's fill it with Ian. There you go.
I'm just kidding.
I felt like that yesterday. I was kind of questioning while the TTT was going on. Andy put up a video of me, and I was like, "Why am I on this?"
Well, I
I
can't
was
not
totally-
put you there. Well, I guess I could, but I could turn your video off myself. But
There was a few times I got off the bike, and I was like, it was never mentioned to the audience that I'm not actually racing.
How'd the TTT go?
we cut a minute off our best time, our previous time.
Nice.
Yeah, we did good. We finished fourth in latte.
Oh, nice. Yeah, sorry I couldn't make it. Had to work. I would like a non-gender specific of the mountain. They say Gene is down. Poor Gene.
Oh, well, that finish looks horrible. My legs say no.
All right. Those are life choices, Andy. You put the fence on just over the top.
So I get there.
All right, note to self. Before the next climb, I've got to go way off the back.
Then what?
And then I can attack.
Ah.
Wait, so are we finishing on a climb, Andy, today?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah!
What are you talking about? So far, I've blasted by you on every climb. There. The gauntlet's been thrown down.
But those were short. They were like little rises. I wouldn't call those climbs. Not that I would call this one a climb either, but
One thing I hate about those things is that if my tactic is to try to get ahead on that, to break away on that, then I'm just gassed afterwards.
yeah.
Or I do what I did last time and sit down to try to hit my power up button. Never again. I lost so much power doing that. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have just either gone without a power up or just tried to see what I could do while standing.
Hopefully this is our kind of sprint finish, so.
Yeah, never seems to work for me, but give it a try. What do we need, a feather or a helmet?
Well, I know you and I need like an 8K climb finish. We're not the punchy climber types. We're the. How hard and long can this be? Ooh. That'll do it.
Ooh.
He is now named the fence.
Are you talking about the fence again?
Yeah.
Where are you originally from, Ian?
Huh?
Where are you originally from?
Why?
Where'd you grow up?
Why?
Well, Andy grew up in England.
No, you, Ian.
Oh,
Oh.
me?
Yeah.
Moved around a bunch as a kid. Grew up in Illinois mostly.
Oh, okay. So you don't say Warder.
No.
Do they even say Warder in your part of Pennsylvania? Or is that more just
No.
in Philadelphia?
That's more a Philly thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where the education system is garbage, you know? They don't teach pronunciation.
I lived in West Virginia for a little while. That place.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what
Oh
West
my.
Virginia's education motto is, right?
There is one?
Thank God for Mississippi. They borrowed from Arkansas and Alabama.
I mean, to just be able to look at creek and get crick is just amazing to me, first of all. There's just so many things.
Right.
Although I did
What do you
become
call it?
fond of cuss.
What do they call it when you have a pain in your neck?
A what?
Pain in your neck. No, that's a crick in
yeah.
your neck, isn't it?
I'm free.
Yeah, still
Oh,
different.
maybe.
The cool thing though is if you look at like the number of amateur chemists in West Virginia per capita,
Yeah.
it's pretty high.
Oh yeah, and it shows.
So there's huge interest in STEM in West Virginia.
Is it
A lot
STEM?
of-
Is that?
A lot of eye problems as well.
Yeah. They have a very big interest in STEM, and they have a lot of need for dentists.
Yeah, I lived there for 2 years. It was an interesting experience. I mean, I wouldn't take it back because it was fun to meet a totally different group of people. But
What
I was
part of
right
West
on-
Virginia?
I was in Parkersburg, and it was right on the river, and then Ohio was right there, which that part of Ohio isn't much different,
Right.
but it's also different from when you start traveling maybe a little more towards Charleston and you get out in those mountains.
Yeah. Kentucky's got the same kind of thing.
You could always tell people who are in Parkersburg from outside.
Why? Because they don't all look
Very
alike.
Well, first of all, you could tell by the truck.
Yeah.
Truck was
It's
always
not
the
30 years
same.
old.
And it always has a flag flying from it somewhere.
Yeah.
Usually it's a rebel flag.
Which is funny because West Virginia was not a Confederate state.
No.
They're the same thing here where I'm in Pennsylvania.
If anything, it should be a West Virginia flag.
Well-
Because West Virginia is so West Virginia that it never chose a side.
Well, no, West Virginia became West Virginia because they're north. They're on the northern side.
Well, yeah. But they still did their own thing. I mean, I guess they did have parts in the Civil War and stuff, but
Yeah,
they
that's-
did their own thing.
Yeah, well, Pennsylvania. I live near Gettysburg, and I see Confederate flags here all the time. I'm like, hey, you guys know how that turned out, right? And what side you were on?
The amazing thing is when I see them in Maine sometimes, it's like,
Like,
oh, this
Maine
doesn't
had
make
one of
any sense at all.
most famous regiments in the Northern Army.
Yeah. Joshua Chamberlain, his house
Yeah.
is actually right up the street from here.
He'd be turning over in his grave. I've had a couple people I've talked to like, no, it's for states' rights. It's like, Confederate flag is not about states' rights. It was about slaveholders who didn't want to give up their slaves because they were capital. They viewed them as capital, not humans. And then they conflated that to states' rights.
Since you're an avid BBC One listener, you should put out the Union Jack, Rick.
If anything, your state flag is the best thing you can use for states' rights possible.
Right.
I only fly my state flag because I am opposed to the federal government.
All right, hey FBI, if you're listening, you just heard that from Rick.
Those weren't my words. I was quoting.
Rick opposes the federal government. That is not an ODZ thing. That is a Rick England thing.
I think the federal government's great.
Especially the IRS. Love them. Best.
As long as you pay your taxes and stay in Maine, you can be opposed as much as you like.
Yeah, I don't know about the IRS. I'll leave that one off the list. But
Well, I just put it this way. If you didn't want to have roads, especially interstate highways, any kind of education system, some healthcare, social security, things like that when you're older, then yes, let's get rid of the IRS.
and the equivalent of the mob's IRS is way worse.
Yeah. And
If you want to compare, they're not
Right, and
breaking knees or anything.
right, and if you want to make sure that wealthy people don't pay their fair share and the little guy gets screwed all the time, let's get rid of the IRS.
Come on, you can print as much of the world currency as you like. You don't need an IRS.
Uh-oh, what happened there?
Sorry, but Those were bats. They rolled. I'm creating too much movement on the floor.
I was gonna say, I thought those sounded just like a bat,
Yeah.
not like the ones you live in caves or
No,
fight
no.
crime.
Well, these could fight crime.
Yes. Huh, I missed Charlie for now. Or did Charlie just show up? Charlie just showed up.
Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah, perfect time. After my ride yesterday, wow. I couldn't believe I was like conversing with people. I talked to Grace, she didn't mention a thing. I had like dried snot coming out of my nose. I was dusted with salt. Oh, I looked horrible. I had crusties in my eyes too. I haven't had that in a long time. Since I think maybe when I was a kid we had conjunctivitis or something. Pedal, pedal, pedal. Ugh. That made me not want to do it at all. You were just sprinting for such a long time right there.
Wouldn't go full gas, but pretty good.
Gives me a feather at the top. Nice. You too, but by the looks of things too.
Yeah. I'm never really sure exactly, or at least today especially, I'm not really sure if I do the sprint, what power up I want.
I'm going for the helmet.
I think one of the last times, I definitely chose feather. And it was pretty good. Or actually, I think I won that one, but
Oh, still going off to the left.
Oh, that's Tyler. I have a strict policy sometimes of if someone asks a question, just immediately ask back another question, the first one that pops in your head.
Esta canción te la dedico a ti, la que siempre está junto a mí. En las buenas y las malas, siempre bella y fiel eres tú. Desde el momento en que te conocí, sentí algo que nunca antes sentí. Contigo lo tengo todo, reina de mi castillo eres tú. Yeah. Me levantaste cuando estaba en el suelo, tuviste fe cuando nadie en mí creía. Bebé, tú eres la mujer maravilla, prometo ser tu Superman por toda tu vida. Tu sonrisa me...
So, Andy, do we start the sprint at the bottom of the climb, or do we start 400 meters beforehand?
No, we start when I say go.
It's normally at 1050 meters, 1050 meters.
Yeah. So it's before the climb starts, actually.
I like to catch people off guard, Ufa.
Yowza.
I mean, I'm just thinking if you're on Discord or Teams, you should get an advantage.
Esta canción te la dedico a ti, la que siempre está junto a mí. En las buenas y las malas, siempre bella y fiel eres tú.
I think what Charlie's suggesting is that you would really just go through said wormhole and poke your head out and see where you're at, and then go back in if it's not the right place. Try again.
La que siempre está junto a mí, dueña de mi corazón.
I think it was actually potatoes you grew.
Bean beans.
Science thinks it was the volcanoes. There was too many beans.
Whew. Can't believe we don't have anybody commenting on Twitch. I mean, we're pretty entertained.
I'm entertained by us.
Yeah. We entertain ourselves all the time.
Wow, it's getting cold in here.
Well, it's snowing pretty hard out now.
Oh, that's right. You're getting all the snow that we should be getting up here.
You'll get it later. It's making its way
No.
that way.
This one's supposed to go flat.
Yeah.
We're in extreme high pressure right now. Very cold.
And it's going to dump all of its precipitation over here.
Yeah, this has happened a couple times already so far this season, where it hits you and then hits Massachusetts and then just kind of goes out to the ocean while it's single-digit temperatures here.
Yeah, even the snow's gone now. It's too cold up there.
We did have a really cold one on Monday, I think it was. That one that you had. And then when it hit here, that was nice. That was some really nice powder.
Nice.
Exciting commute, but I do like it when it's powder.
It was fun to ride in.
Easier. Yeah. So much easier to clean up. The only problem though is when you get onto the interstate, then the snow that's melted on your windshield starts to freeze. Then you get all the icy bits and you can't get them off with your wipers, and then you can't see. And sometimes
You told me about your wipers yesterday, so I understand why they don't work.
I was saying that sometimes your wipers don't have rubber on them because you just won't change them for some reason. It should be good for the next few days, but I think next Tuesday or Wednesday I might have to get wipers again.
I thought New England was this little civilized European part of the state, but it sounds like it's pretty old redneck country.
Oh no, everyone around me is doing pretty good. It's mainly just me that's the problem. Yeah, I just like the idea of being able to say, my windshield wipers are 6 years old. But that also worked better when they actually worked still. It is just
And he's
about
trying
time
to
get
steer
one.
himself into the ditch or something.
I do change my wife's windshield wipers on the regular. If that says anything. If that only makes things more confusing. Ow.
Yep, Andy, you're married. You can tell.
I did think about saying that.
I feel like I need a little sugar in my system, and the only thing sugary that I have in my house is a flat bottle of Coca-Cola that's probably like, I don't even know how many months old.
Do you have any fruit?
No. Well, I ate my last banana.
That's what we call it.
I have straight up sugar. I don't want to do that. I just need a quick burst just to get through the finish of this. I would like to do the sprint, but I don't know.
You need to learn the 7 Ps, man.
Uh-oh. That's a lot of keys.
Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance.
I was just going to say, I've only had 4 Ps this morning.
At your age, that's pretty darn good.
I just had a pee not too long ago, right on this break here. Well, I planned for yesterday, but not past yesterday. I'll just say I definitely stayed nourished on my ride yesterday. And he's riding in the grass, leaving all of
No,
us
he's not.
behind. Yeah, nobody in my house drinks soda.
Well, he's just ditched us with his helmet.
Nobody in my house drinks soda, except for, well, I do sometimes if it's a really long ride and maybe I'm feeling like that lack of sugar at the end.
Yeah.
But we ended up getting a free bottle with a Domino's order a while ago. And it's just kind of sat there. Everybody's like, well, it's free, so I guess we'll just go with it. But I don't think anyone's going to drink it.
We only get the glass bottles of Coke.
Yeah.
I just think it tastes better, and it's the Mexican Coke. So it's cane sugar and not high fructose corn syrup. Yeah. But so we do that. And same, like we'll drink it. We'll split one of those bottles, like if we have pizza night, or I'll drink one if I had a hard, really sweaty ride run type thing.
Yeah, I ended up teaching my kid because, like, it's amazing how other people just really want to teach your kid at a really early age to drink juice and soda instead of water. And but I was always on top of just saying, oh no, why don't you just have water? And so she would actually say she didn't want soda and all that.
Yeah.
So now, one thing I didn't tell her though was about junk food. So so now I'll sit there, I'll see her, like, if she has any candy or something, just putting down some candy.
Yeah.
But yet drink with a glass of water right there.
I got family members who they won't drink water, they only drink Gatorade. And I'm like, but you don't work out. Like no one in your family works out. Gatorade's meant for people who are losing electrolytes and burning sugar.
It is an amazing thing.
It is not meant for
People
hydration.
always buy the sports nutrition stuff or whatever because then it gives them that feeling of I'm being healthy.
Right.
But now you're just adding things to your body you don't need.
Yeah,
And
and look,
paying money for.
if you have cholera or something like that, yes, Gatorade's good because it helps rehydrate. But no one in this family has cholera. It's funny though, because they'll complain, oh, I got stomach problems. I'm like, yeah, Gatorade's pretty acidic.
Yeah.
Maybe go eat a banana and drink some water.
Yeah, you can't go better than water. That's for sure. It's good for your teeth.
Yeah.
Or it's not bad for your teeth there also. Because it's not acidic. Unless it's
Well, it depends.
really wrong.
If you live in Flint, Michigan, it might be.
Yeah. Unless there's other needs for concern.
Yeah. But you're correct in general.
Yeah. And it is tough sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, man, I just don't want water. But it is amazing. The more water you drink, the more that water is fine.
Yeah.
In fact, the only time I don't drink straight water is on the bike. I always have something mixed in with it. I don't want to play.
Who would take a coffee stop during this ride?
I'm taking one right now.
Well, but you're busy typing and setting things up. You gotta do administrator stuff.
I had to go do one of the P's. And
You don't have to leave your bike to pee.
Allegedly.
No, it's true.
Spoken by a true TTT, not TTT, ITT person.
Yeah. One person's about to get zapped.
Yeah. There he goes. He's gone.
Yeah. He just dropped his arrow. Why? Feather's not as good as a feather, but better than nothing.
When I fell in love in New York City, no sabía que sería mi final. When he turned around and called me pretty, con la voz que esconde un dulce criminal. Just pay me back, make the words go back. Just turn around, keep on moving. Just pay me back, make the words go
Trium.
back. Just turn around, keep on moving.
I've got some tritium. My gun sights.
All right, Rick, you got to hang with me to get the lead out, because once we crest, before
I'm
the
just gonna
before the banner,
I'll
that's a
try.
sprint.
I think we have an Ian cam today.
Is it really a lead out if it's uphill though?
Sure.
All right, Rick, you get to choose. Do we have an Ian cam or an UFA cam?
I want to see an Ian cam.
You want to see an Ian
I
cam?
don't know
All
about
right. All right, we have an Ian cam for the final 1K then.
Uh-oh. I don't know. That's a good idea.
The pressure's on.
All that pressure.
Yeah, the camera doesn't weigh very much, Ian. It's not going to hinder you at all.
This is where you either cook fast or turn to mush. That's all I could come up with. Pressure cooker analogies.
I thought you were referring to beans again.
You can make those in the pressure cooker.
I make burgers in the pressure cooker now. They're good.
It actually kind of negates the idea of doing beanhole beans. Just a Yankee tradition that doesn't need to happen anymore.
A whole bunch of people are going to get zapped.
We've got
I think they're trying to win the final kilometer.
about 40 seconds now.
They're like, if I'm way ahead right now, I will win.
But yeah,
Oh, this is going to get very confusing.
It's harder to come back right now over that crest.
there are going to be a lot of people that.
Wow, I'm way in the back.
All right.
Gotta turn off the fence.
Well, done. We are on the in cam. 400 watts. Staying in touch with the front here is Ian. Third place right now. That's closing. Time to put the power on. 560 watts. Only got 3 ahead. Keep it going, keep it going. Here comes Rick. Rick's gonna get in just at the line there. There you go.
Ow.
You're welcome for the lead out.
Thanks. Ah. Wow, my legs were angry at me.
I'll take 7.
There we go. Job done.
So why is it that the time that you see here in the list doesn't fit? It's not the correct one.
Swift math. That's the only explanation you need, Ufa.
Oh, yeah.
Ah. Yeah, the most I was able to produce there, I think my highest was like 8 watts a kilo.
I was happy with my output there.
The punch was gone.
Yeah, I don't have 11 watts a kilo right now. But what I do, I don't need 11 watts a kilo. I need 4 watts a kilo for a really long time.
I mean, that worked out okay for me. Just maintaining that 8 watts, but my placement was a little bit off.
Yeah.
And plus, I mean, those guys, I'm guessing if that guy was ahead of Wu, he probably had a really good punch going on.
Yeah, I should have thrown my my feather earlier because it didn't help me on the sprint when I still had feather going.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta run out.
Yeah, I left it to Fate, and Fate ended up saying, here's an arrow boost.
Nice.
I almost got left behind, or I did get left a little bit behind on the climb.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
That's what I said
really
before.
like-
If you could stay near me on the climb, that there's just enough of a flat downhill run into the end.
Yeah, that's the thing I've done the last couple times, is just blow myself out on the climb and then lose it on the straight or the downhill.
I think we need to do an ebb with a volcano climb finish, where we start at the bottom of the volcano.
Yeah, and then just hit that real punchy bit.
Or even better, hear me out, ebb up the epic with the final K sprint up to the tower.
I did that one on a coffee and espresso ride once. That was
What do you
horrible.
think, Andy?
What do I think? Of what?
Yeah, of an ebb up the epic with the final sprint up the radio tower.
It's gonna be really easy to check whether you guys have 100% difficulty or not. So
I would rather have 100% on that.
Yeah, heck yeah.
My watch really high.
Yeah, I'd struggle to get that ended there. I don't know of any routes that end at the top of the radio tower.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, the
that's
one
kinda
that
Yeah, you can distance time it, I guess.
I could do distance, I guess.
Yeah, the one that I did for the espresso ride, that was, that one was up the climb. Then I think the end was at the bottom. So
Oh, that's no
I
fun.
not only had to deal with the climb, but also the descent. Charlie blew me away on the descent.
Yeah.
It was my first time ever doing that ride. And I was like, wow, these guys are insane.
Yeah. I can't win anything that's a downhill because my descending skills don't come into play.
Yeah, that
I'm
was
going
the
to say
thing.
thank
Charlie
you.
just flew right by me on that.
I can get a word in. I'm going to say thank you very much to everyone for joining us on the stream. I'll be back with Rick, and I can mute you. I'll be back with Rick and
We'll be on the
any of the
stream.
other friends that want to join us on Monday mornings. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.